Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Prairie Banana over on PulseChain, the chain occupied by pTGC and UFO. The two assets that are an index of the best other assets on the chain that pay us, the holders, passive income day in and day out without even asking for it. And you can't turn it away. Who would turn away pTGC reflections anyhow? Not me. That's for sure. And I know nobody in here would either. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me. I was messing around with my computer today, so if you guys could just let me know that we're communicating. We're going live on Spaces. Give me a second. I missed you guys yesterday to get to stream. That was a bummer, but life happens. We're going to jump in Spaces on my phone, and then we play it through my speaker. You guys can make comments in the comment section. Let's see what shakes out. The Spaces. I know I got something I want to talk about. If you guys want to come up, jump on the Spaces. We'd love to have you hear your voice and come in and talk. And please do. Please do. Before things get so exciting that you can hardly find a space to. You can hardly find an opening to talk. Because I do think that's where things are going. Hi, Jan. It's good to see you, man. From Thailand. I'm coming for a visit, dude. I'm coming for a visit. Like this winter, God willing. Already got plans to go south here soon, and then maybe we'll do Asia winter-ish. All right, mic is off. Good evening.
What's up, Banana?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Another day, another week.
Yeah. Well, we've got Jan on YouTube he says hi from Thailand. And thank you for saying that you can hear me clearly. That helps. And then Ray, he says good evening from Sweet Home, Alabama. So it'll be a quiet crew tonight, probably, until everybody realizes that Bitcoin's on the move. It could pull back, but I'll remain optimistic. Defiantly optimistic, even.
Well, I think a big point to pay attention to is, I don't know where it's at right now, but I know yesterday it broke 80K, and I think we hit a low of like 60K. I need to look at that.
60, you said?
No, I think 60, maybe a little lower.
It's
I have to look it up.
It's right at 80,000. It has been all day. So it's
what I was saying is the low of this cycle.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Let's see. I see 65 on the 29th of March. But we had a micro burst down to 61-ish on the 6th of February. 61.
Yeah, so we're up 20,000 from that point. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, there's a chance of it going back down and going lower, but we're definitely putting some ground between us and that low that we made.
Yeah, I mean, just in the past, since the 29th of March, we're up 23%. Bitcoin, just to be clear. So I hope it continues. I'd like to see that. The last time we were at this price level, 80,000, was the 31st of January. So it was this year. I'm looking, and it broke through a lot of resistance levels, in the last couple weeks. And looks like the next level is going to be around, I guess that would be 84,000. I should be sharing my screen.
Well, some of the big things is it's closing the weeks and closing the months at good levels too. We're now into a fresh new month, and we've closed some nice levels.
Yeah. Well, it's been up and to the right for 6 weeks. Let's look at it on the monthly here and see what we got. 3 months. We haven't closed out this month yet, obviously, but let's assume we do, and that would be 3. We got a lot of the month left though, but that would be 3 months green. Yeah.
Clarity Act, probably some good information on that. I heard May 11th, I think.
What was that?
I heard that we might get some information on the Clarity Act around May 11th.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully we do. All news.
Yeah.
That's good for crypto. Is good for Bitcoin right now. And if we can start showing users that we're getting the clarity that we need with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin's going to obviously, I think, keep trending upwards. And if we can get Bitcoin to keep trending upwards, that's great for all crypto. So,
yeah. Yeah, lots of things are happening. I'm really excited about that. The possibility of that Clarity Act coming to pass. It'd be pretty sweet. So something escaped me over the weekend. I mean, I saw I think it was a tweet. It was just almost like it was encrypted. Something about a $20,000 ad to the ETH pTGC pair. And I wasn't at my desk, and I was like, well, that sounds like we might have added, but I'm not sure. And then I found out for sure today when I was reminded about that. So we did add $20,000 to that ETH pair, the DAO, over the weekend, didn't we?
Correct. Yeah, nothing was meant to be encrypted, so maybe my wording was just.
You're being modest. You're trying not to brag, probably.
Okay.
It's my guess. Yeah, man, that's something to celebrate.
So yeah, our ETH LP is now at like $115,000, and I think that's awesome for our community to have that exposure to Ethereum, and not only the exposure, but to have the chance to generate revenue off of its movements. It's, in my opinion, still very, very undervalued. Half the price is its all-time high this last cycle and the previous cycle. I'm personally hoping for now pTGC, because we have LP with it. One of our, it's up there with one of our largest pairs now. We want things we're bonded to go up. We also want ETH to be successful because the founder of PulseChain has a ton of ETH. Ethereum going up helps pretty much all altcoins. So, I think we got to be rooting it on. Let's hope we found the bottom with ETH as well, and we keep that shit moving in the right direction. Hopefully better than last cycle too.
Oh yeah, man. Even though ETH, I don't know what ETH did last cycle. I remember where it closed out about, but do you know how many X's it did last cycle?
I don't know the low it made. We should look it up just for fun. But one thing that I thought was interesting is just the fact that it pretty much didn't make a new all-time high. I think it went over for a few hours or one day or something like that.
You're talking about August.
Yeah, it hit the same high as it did the previous cycle. So, 4 years to get pretty much no gains unless you bought the dip. And again, that's the reminder to how to win, even when the cycles don't play as heavily in your favor as you might hope, is by buying those dips. If you buy the dip, you're still going to be up X's, even if, like in this situation, ETH doesn't go and make new all-time highs. Well, if you bought the dip, you went up X's either way. Obviously, we're all hoping for new all-time highs. The same could go for PulseChain. Like, what if PulseChain doesn't make a new all-time high? What if it just taps its old all-time high, which is 3 zeros and a 3? From right here, that's a 40x. If you're buying the dip, if you're buying pTGC here, we're going to get that 40x push. And for some people, maybe who bought at SAC price or 2x SAC price and stuff like that, it doesn't feel too awesome because they're down so hard. So it's, you know, I think if you have the conviction in the blockchain or in ETH or in Bitcoin, you're not too afraid to DCA the dips. It's when you don't have the true conviction in these things, you don't believe in the longevity and the sustainability of PulseChain, it might be difficult if you don't have the belief in pTGC long term. You know, it might be difficult, but for the users who actually believe in these things long term, huge opportunity on all these assets. Even if it's just a one cycle bag. You know, I think everyone can look at their own bag and say, hey, this portion of my bag is for this cycle. This portion of my bag is for just a few X's, right? You can have different levels. Some people might throw some value in and say, you know what, 5X, I'm taking some off the table. Some of it might be, hey, I'm trying to time this portion of the bag to new all-time highs or till Pulse gets to its all-time high. And then some of your bag could be, hey, this is my pTGC bag that I'm holding for 10 years. You know, I'm going to take profits out of 70% of it, but 30% of it, I'm going to let that see 10 years. I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe in math. I believe in burnt liquidity. I believe in PulseChain as a whole. So I want to see what this value could be 10 years from now. Not just see it. I want to be exposed to it. Just watching it isn't that fun if it's winning super hard.
Yeah. It's always better it's more fun to participate. That's for sure. What do you think about ProveX? I mean, do you think that's going to be something we're going to speculate on as a DAO?
As far as getting more LP with it?
Yeah.
I definitely would like to. Right now, I feel like the value that we are bringing in, we have to use to the best of our ability. If that's speculating on RH tickers, you know, the new ones like ProveX, is that buy and burns. If that's getting some legacy LP that's been outperforming RH tickers for a little bit. You know, I would love to hit everything, but I think, you know, as a community, we just have to brainstorm, and, you know, we could even do stuff like that on these spaces.
Yeah.
Like, what is the best use of the value we have coming in? Let's look at the last 90 days and see how much value that is just for fun.
The last 90 days, a value generation?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So we've made $80,000 into the DAO alone. So we've made $200,000 in the last 90 days, but 80,000 of that went to the DAO. So in the last 90 days, we've had $80,000 technically to make decisions with. If that's
but some of that went to referrers, though.
Correct. Yeah. So that was a decision that we've made as a group, that we think it's good to reward the active onboarders in the ecosystem. Portion has gone to buy and burns. Portion has gone to these ETH LPs, and then a portion is just being put into PLS. So, you know, moving forward, I would love to hear your ideas, Banana. What would you like to see?
I'd like to see more volume so that we have more capital to disperse. And I wanted to talk to you about some of that, because when I saw that, and honestly, I just want to see more pairings, you know, or I want to see our existing pairings beefed up, but that takes capital, and we don't have a lot right now. I'm just be honest. I'm just happy to hodl. I'm glad we made the move into the WETH pair. I think that was wise. It was the highest liquidity to volume ratio pair for the last 24 hours, according to, you know, pTGC-UFO.com. It had I think $7,000 in volume. That's sweet, man. That's volume that some of that volume may not have existed if we hadn't had that pair. I think probably almost all of it would. It would, because people would trade in and out of a different pair, right? If there wasn't that weak pair.
Yeah, every single day would be a little different. And some days it's just humans interacting with that pair. Like if a specific person wanted to buy pTGC and they had ETH, or if they wanted to sell pTGC and they wanted ETH, like the auto router, or they could set up PulseX to route them directly into the pair. That's one thing, right? But the other side of it is the arbitrage bots. And in a volatile time, let's say, for an example, PDI. Let's say PDI started moving up, went up like 15%. The arbitrage bots are going to say, oh, the pTGC in this PDI pair is worth more than all the other pairs. So let me actually look for the pair that is the smallest. And in that event, if ETH's pair was the smallest, let's say ETH was down that day for some reason, well, there's that biggest arbitrage opportunity, and that's where the arbitrage bots will take action until the price is close enough to where it doesn't make sense anymore. So if we didn't have that ETH pair, technically the arbitrage bots would look for the next opportunity up, but the next opportunity might not be as big or have as much capital in it, or might take less value to move back and forth. So we are increasing it by just saying like we would have never had that $7,000. I don't think that's an accurate way to look at it, because again, it could be user-based, or it could be the arbitrage bot went elsewhere. But I think it's a big sign that either way users are interacting with that pair. So we're giving our community value, if that's for them to buy through that pair, or if that's for them to sell through that pair. You know, that's what cryptocurrency is an open market. And I think we need to also look at all liquidity pairs, not only about generating revenue, but value for our community, right? We're adding value to this ecosystem for the community, more value backing it, you know, more value for the holders. Obviously, most of us want all these prices to go up a lot more, so then all this liquidity goes up a lot more too. But the more liquidity we add right now, when things start moving up, that multiplier starts happening. You know, right now we're at 2 mil of liquidity, and let's say everything 10x in the matter of a few months. Well, then we'd be sitting on 20 million of liquidity. So that's an increase of $18 million of liquidity, right? Mm-hmm. But if we only had 1 million and then everything 10x, well, then we would only have 10 million. That's an increase of 9 million. So because we had an extra million at the low times, we made an extra 9 million in value backing the system. And this goes down in multiples, downwards or upwards, right? So if a token only has $100,000 of liquidity and PulseChain does a 10x, and they say level, this is not including any X's up or dividing X's like people take profits. This is the ratio stays the exact same. If you're in a token that has 100K of liquidity, PulseChain 10x's, well, now you're sitting on $1 million of liquidity. That token made technically $900,000 of liquidity. That's pretty sweet. But if you're in a token like pTGC that has $2 million of liquidity, the token actually makes 18 million, right? So they got the same amount of X's, but the liquidity in pTGC went up 18 million, where the token that only has 100K of liquidity only goes up 900,000, which, you know, is pretty much a 20x difference.
Okay. So as we go up in the cycle and the Dow is receiving massive quantities of, capital, are we intending to hodl some of that for when we down cycle, so we can snipe bigger bags of other assets to pair with? Or how is that going to work? That sounds like a strategy, because we can actually rotate into stables, and then when everything crashes, snipe some big old bags for the next up cycle, 4 to 6 years from now.
100%. Really, that was the plan this last cycle. It's just the whole entire cycle came up so short chance to where we could start diversifying the liquidity web, not only from RH tickers, but also to stable coins and Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Like that was always part of the plan. It's just everything fell short. So we didn't get to that phase. You know, and that doesn't mean that phase isn't coming. That means that phase is just coming a little bit later. Like right now, we've started building some of those legacy pairs like Ethereum. So now we can generate revenue off of Ethereum. But that was always kind of part of the plan, is when we're at higher levels, let's get some of our LP with stable coins. You know, it's just kind of, you know, just I think bad news. And I think this happened to not only the pTGC ecosystem, but a lot of cryptocurrency. It's just with Ethereum not making new all-time highs, this cycle fell short. But moving forward, the plan's no different. You know, when we get to higher levels, we do want to create reserves of stables or, you know, PLS or ETH to making it to where we have capital to protect the price at the bottoms and buy up the dips. You know, a lot of people don't remember just a few months ago, we were at all-time lows and the Dow spent roughly $100,000 buying that dip with capital that we saved. So we've taken action on that strategy in the past. You know, we've taken action on that this cycle. We obviously had the goal for it being a lot bigger because we thought it was going to be a much bigger of a run. We thought we were going to have more time, so on and so forth. But that we still did it. You know what I mean? We did transition to stables a little bit. We did save some PLS to buy the dip, and we took a ton of tokens off the market. Moving forward, like we plan on doing that again. I think that's one of the things that makes us strong going into the next cycle. You know, we took off the market in this bear market probably half of a whale position off the market with the combination of the Dow and, you know, and UFO and the automatic buy and burns, etc.
Man, that's sweet. We could buy some like really massive positions or massive LPs, you know, in years to come. Just if you,
I think, like not even thinking about saving for that. Like, I think a lot of times you have to look at like just consistency, right? If we're consistently adding value, like it's not
dollar
always
cost
about
averaging,
just modeling, but yeah, just being consistent about adding value to the places that matter for as long as PulseChain exists, as long as we can be here, and as long as we can keep grinding as a community, you know, we will continue to add to these things that we see value in as a team. If that's, you know, us every single month getting some more RH stickers, or if that's getting some more ETH, or if that's stablecoin LPs, or if that's buy and burns, or if that's hodling a little bit, I think the most important way to look at it is it's never going to stop, right? So we're 2.5 years in right now, and we went from A to B, right? We went from 100K market cap token to all the way up to a 400 mil market cap, down to a 25 mil market cap. And now we have these LPs, we have diversification, we have 13% of our supply bought and burnt. We have these awesome tools from Snowflake sites that he's built for us, the site that Shaka Vibes has built for us, the site that I worked on personally as a community member. We have new tools like the affiliate program, so on and so forth. And it's like, that's what we've been able to do on the community side and the code side just in 2.5 years. And I think the main point is in that 2.5 years, the gas token that we've been tied to has only went down. So that's what we've been able to do in probably the worst environment imaginable. And it's a lot. So I believe like, it's not even so much like, ooh, let's hold for this and like imagine where our LPs will be after this coming cycle. It's like, imagine just us doing what we've been doing for another 2.5 years. And then another 2.5 years. And imagine it if PulseChain finally starts working with us instead of against us. And ETH isn't at, you know, the price it was, 4 years ago now or something like that. And we start making new all-time highs on ETH and all these things, like, you know, our LPs go to some of the levels that they were a year and a half ago or whatever, when we're sitting on $40 million of LP between pTGC and UFO, having $500,000 LP or volume days on a regular basis and having that capital to make moves and stuff like that. Like, I personally believe those times are coming back, plus much more.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. And, much more.
And then think about it. Like, where do you think we could be 2.5 years more of this? Plus, let's say PulseChain being relatively successful. Like, let's say we get PulseChain back to 2x sacrifice price in the next 2 years, which is pretty modest. Like, I think that only takes like $5 million of net positive value into this chain. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I think we could see levels of, but in just pTGC, like, I don't see a world where we don't see $50 million of liquidity there. And that would be not only RE's tickers now, but that would also have some ETH and maybe at that point some stables and what we could be generating at that point in volume. Because one thing I've been noticing about PulseChain is the liquidity it has now is a lot thinner than it had when we were previously up at our highs. So if PulseChain ever really starts rocking, I think it's going to be extremely volatile. Like, $1 million moves, which in a bull market, these moves happen all the time, I think is going to be shifting PulseChain 20% moves throughout the day. And those 20% moves can be constantly causing reactions through our system. Like, our value generation with an actual movement on PulseChain could be massive. Like, the machine could finally start to kick into a gear instead of us just watching it in this like humming mode of where we see value generation every day, like $200,000 in the last 90 days. That's awesome. But I think we're all excited for seeing this machine actually on, and seeing PulseChain actually on as well would be nice.
Yeah.
Or just crypto in general, right? Like, crypto's been pretty quiet for a good 5 years now.
Yeah, it's just winding up. That's what I think. So I was after I looked into the pTGC wheat pair a little bit this afternoon, I was having visions of pTGC becoming this ever increasingly large flywheel, because maybe it was starting to hit me about the addition of LPs, like whether we're adding to an existing LP or we are creating a new one, we're increasing the volume that is going to go through pTGC. The more volume there is, the more money, the more capital flows to the DAO, and the DAO can deploy that capital into LP, which increases the volume.
Or buy and burns, right?
Yeah.
The buy and burn is also in addition to LP. That's one thing a lot of people forget about. Like, any buy on the chart is in addition to LP.
All right, you're gonna have to go into that. You've done it before, but you're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's say we're onboarding someone, and that onboard wants $100,000 of pTGC. Well, the only way they can get that $100,000 of pTGC is by injecting value into our already an existing liquidity web. So let's say they just go into the main PLS pair. That value gets distributed pretty much evenly amongst all the LPs based on their size, once thresholds are met. So 50,000 of that might stay in the main PLS pair, and then arbitrage bots or the auto router would send the rest to the other pairs, like the ETH pair and the PulseX pair, etc. Point being is, for them to get the pTGC in that pair, they have to increase the size of the liquidity, because now that user just put $100,000 more of value into the liquidity web, and now that value is put to work. And that's, like you said, causing that flywheel to happen more, because now that user's value is working for the whole entire system. Obviously, he's earning his share of that via staking rewards and reflections, but some of that value isn't going directly to him. You know, a good portion of that value is going to the DAO and to buy and burns and LP ads.
Okay. But would you agree with me that either way we do it, it's pTGC becomes this massive flywheel, as long as we have volume. But the more volume we have, the more revenue goes to that DAO, which can be deployed to make more revenue.
100%. Constantly taking the capital that gets generated and shoving it back into the ecosystem and growing it and growing it and growing it with no value going anywhere else. We don't have any overhead.
I'm about speechless, man. I never really thought about it like that, or maybe I did. It just became more clear today. But I'm going to tell you what, pTGC could become an absolute monster. If we have massive volume, pTGC is going to be massive, or more massive. Massive times 1.2.
Yeah, we've gotten 100K ETH LP pretty much added at the bottom of PulseChain.
How do we pull that off? With the DAO. $100,000. This little project, can I call it just a little project? It's not a little project, but this little token on PulseChain. How long did it?
Little. They are pretty little, and I think that shows the strength of them. And that means upside potential. There's, what is it, 3,000 people that own $500 or more of pTGC, and I think it's like 1,000 people who own $500 or more of UFO.
Yeah.
Like, really think about how many people are in cryptocurrency, and you're like, oh, only 3,000 people own $500 or more of pTGC. Only 3,000. Like, literally, tokens on Solana pick up 3,000 people in a matter of a day.
Yeah, well, maybe not anymore. Maybe they still do, but I don't think so. I think things have wound down a little bit over there.
Yeah, they have.
Oh, good.
Sure. Yeah, maybe not anymore, but when things are rocking is kind of my point.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I get you. Hey guys, we don't need to let Zen and I hog the show. You guys are always welcome to jump up and interrupt us, please. This is a good conversation, though. Man, pTGC could get really exciting, guys. I'm just going to tell you. If we have some massive volume.
I was doing a little moon math, I think, this morning, and I did 5 million into Pulse and 1 million into pTGC in net positive value, right? That is, it could take more because of sell pressure, but in net positive value, yep. 1 million positive value in the pTGC, 5 million positive value in the Pulse. It was a 40x for pTGC.
Man.
We're a billion market cap. And that's not a lot of capital, right?
No.
And we have a hardworking community. We have everything. We have rewards for onboarding. We have deflation. We have, like, the million in value. Like, we've done over $1 million of buys of pTGC just this year by the DAO.
Now run that by me again. $1 million of what?
We've bought in over $1 million of pTGC just this last year from the DAO.
Wow, where was I when all this happened, man? It's like all this is becoming new to me today for some weird reason. That is so exciting, man. $1 million worth of the DAO is able to buy $1 million worth of pTGC in the last year, and the volume was like rubbish, man. We had a few exciting months in like January, February, March, and that was about it, man. And we tucked away $1 million worth of pTGC, just the DAO alone. $1 million. That's shocking.
it makes me feel very confident in just persistence and like just staying on this path and just keep doing what we know works. And these red times of PulseChain will not last forever. Like, we've just gotten through 9 red months in a row on PulseChain. That's tough, right? That's tough. We've all been here. We're all connected to PulseChain. pTGC, UFO, any token on PulseChain is, for the most part, connected to PulseChain. Like, so we've all been dragged down for 9 months. Like, it's a tough environment. It's tough to our portfolios. It's tough to morale in general. But that's what we've been able to do in the last year. $1 million of buying of pTGC, a mix of program, a mixture of LP ads, and a mixture of buy and burns. But $1 million of buy pressure from the DAO, with a blockchain pretty much just going red only for, if I had to guess, probably 10 out of the last 12 months. It's exciting when you actually think about it. It's exciting that we're able to do this in that environment. What happens if the environment finally switches in our favor? And I don't believe bear markets last forever. This is what Richard always says, like, bear markets do not last forever. I even recall watching a video of John McAfee doing a interview, and someone was saying like, oh, you were telling someone to buy Bitcoin at $6,000 and now it's $2,000. And then he said, guys, we're in a bear market. Mm-hmm. I still feel good about that person's buy at 6,000 as long as they still own it. He said, Bitcoin is going to be worth 50,000 in just a few years. You just have to hold on to the bag. Bear markets do not last forever. Sure enough, he doesn't get to see all these crazy numbers. No. But, we're at Bitcoin at 100 and, at the highs, $120,000.
Yeah. It's 13x from 6,000 right now. A 13x. More than 10 extra money. Those people back then.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't take too long. And I tend to believe, mathematically, we have a lot more things on our side than Bitcoin that didn't have. Bitcoin's its own blockchain, so it doesn't get the ability to do the X multiplier. It doesn't get the ability to get free X's from the blockchain it's built on. It doesn't get the ability to do the buy and burns on every single transaction and to use the code to add more liquidity for the system. Doesn't mean it's struggled for X's, like it's done pretty much the best performing asset that's ever existed. So it probably doesn't need any more help. But my point is, like, dude, we have a lot of things in our favor that's yet to be tapped into. We haven't even got any X's from the X multiplier. We've only been divided for the last 3 years. So what happens if we do finally start to get some X's instead of division? I'm excited for it. I'm excited for what it could do for the LP. There is some things on chain I think everyone is just feeling a little bit, for me, quiet about. Like, I want to see the marketing, or even, however we educate others on PulseChain in this next bull run. I would like to see that wake up a little bit. I would love Richard to be involved with that, because I think he is the best marketer for PulseChain. I think that would be best for everyone's bag, but we don't have control over that. So if we did, if we saw some capital from Richard, he doesn't have to do anything, but gosh, that would be awesome. And we have to be patient, because the best time for him to use capital is when that capital is worth a lot more value. Hopefully that's his plan. And then also, if we could get a form of Richard back that is helping market this chain, dude, like, these things could go to insane numbers, like almost unbelievable numbers. With Richard marketing, with let's say ETH at 6K, he had like, I think 1.2 billion at 4K. So let's say he got to 2 billion. I just said, to get PulseChain to do a 12x, we only need $5 million of net positive value.
Yeah. IO is asking in the chat on YouTube. He says, is 10 cents possible for pTGC? I'll throw in an absolutely that's possible. I mean, look, if Pulse just goes to its previous all-time high of about 302 and pTGC does a 10x above, on top of that, that's a 266x. That would put pTGC at 2.2 pennies, 2.2 cents. And that's just Pulse going to the previous all-time high and pTGC performing at I hope it's a modest. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. A modest 10x against PulseChain. But we've seen pTGC smash it against PulseChain. So I think 10x is a modest guess. The 266x, man. We just got to get PulseChain to his previous all-time high. So is 10 cents possible? Yeah, I think so. Just looking at the math and the history. Yeah. And so
with the things I was just listing, if we got a Richard back that I think everyone would be excited to see, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, just something consistent, and he could be currently unable to do those things because of legal reasons, and we have to be understanding of that. But let's say we do get he is able to start marketing in a way that he fits best or we think is best, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That alone would be something special for this chain from this point. We haven't gotten that in a long time. And then you add in, let's say, just a little bit of capital. Just a little bit to, let's say, just get it going or something consistent. What that could change. Imagine the environment of PulseChain, the community, and the efforts of the community. PulseChain back at 4 zeros and a 7, which is 10x here. I think PulseChain would be woken back up into an onboarding machine. And technically, the buying that Richard would be doing all the way up until that 10x would be getting tokens off the market cheaper than people even paid him for them, especially if ETH is at higher prices. Even the biggest sacrificers. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, it does. We're gonna learn a lot when we actually have volume on PulseChain. It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna be here for it. There's a lot of us. I think everybody here that's on Spaces and on YouTube right now is going to be here for it. Only the diehards, only the diehards could be here at such a time as this.
Yeah, I think like $1 million right now puts PLS on at least 2x swings.
I'll find out. Hold on.
Obviously, let's say higher prices, it will cost more, but I do believe like when we're 5x here, $1 million of value can flow in and out very, very quickly. Like I do believe PLS is going to have massive volatile swings in its process back up. Like dude, we're so low right now. Our way back up to 10x here or 15x here, there's going to be a lot of volatility. And all that my mind thinks is that's going to be tons of value generation for our system that we can just keep shoving into all the places that matter for the sustainability and longevity of pTGC on that route back to 10x from here, 20x from here, 30x from here. Keep in mind, 30x from here still isn't even an all-time high for PulseChain. That's below an all-time high.
$5 million into PLS right now. 13x is it, putting it to just a fuzz below SAC price. $5 million. Richard knows this. Absolutely, he does. I think he's being quiet on purpose. He's shaking out a lot of people.
And it doesn't even have to be like a purposeful shaking out. Like a lot of people kind of put it like that, like,
Sure.
oh, he wants to shake everyone out. I think what it is more is like, if you have unlimited amounts of capital and just the time to use that capital is just not right at all. There is no retail here whatsoever. Like there is no one to even market this thing to besides like IRL onboarding one by one, right? That's the way pTGC wins here. That's the way we onboard the PulseChain here, is just letting people know about the opportunity. But when it comes time to like actually buy these tokens, if you have so much capital to where you could use a 15th of the capital, a 10th of the capital, and literally bring the whole entire blockchain to all-time highs and probably buy out a lot of those weak hands in that same process, it doesn't really even matter how low something goes. Like the similar idea would be, imagine if the DAO had $5 million sitting in it right now, and we said, times are tough right now, you know, let's just patiently wait for retail to come back in. Like, you know, we don't need to do any onboard, we don't need to do anything. Whatever the price is of pTGC, all we have to do is put half of that $1 million in and we'll be at all-time highs. That easy. We already have the capital. We don't have anything to stress. Right? That's the situation we're kind of in on PulseChain. He has all the capital. We have nothing really to stress. We just have to have, I personally believe that he's not going anywhere and he has a plan with at least a portion of it. If you've lost the belief, well, then you've lost the belief. But if you have the belief that he will come through with something, there's really nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Because he can send it right back up to those levels at any point.
Yep.
I think
he
there's
certainly
more than
can.
just sending it back up to those levels. I think we need to keep the community size growing. This is my big thing on pTGC. We have 3,000 holders right now that have $500 or more. Let's get it to 6,000 before any of this happens. Let's become double the size, double the power. I think that goes for PulseChain. You know, right now you see us dropping holders like flies. Like we're shrinking. We need to be growing. And I get that it's a tough time to be onboarding, and sadly a lot of wallets are dropping off, but we need to be increasing the size of the PulseChain community. That's how we're going to win.
It's happening bit by bit. You know, one thing I haven't mentioned on Spaces is that a wild SJ, not just a wild SJ, but the whole, you know, community has been not only sending out those cards, mailing them, but hand delivering them, and also crates. I think large shipments of those mailers have been reaching different distribution points around the world, like even in Europe. I saw a list, might have been 5 to 8 different distribution points where these large shipments of the mailers are going, where they're going to be distributed from those distribution points. And that's going to be that's going to cause adoption for sure. It already has. Jan says, "What?"
I think that is kind of a delayed marketing effect.
Yep.
Right? Like we're getting these into everyone's hands. Right now, they look it up. There's nothing pretty to look at. It's kind of like advertising a car dealership, and then when they Google it, there's just a bunch of bad reviews, and they have a bunch of horrible cars there.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of even advertising it? But if you advertise a car dealership, they Google it real quick, and there's all these 5-star reviews, and they have all these awesome cars. Well, now it's worth it, right? Right now, when people Google it, there's not too much awesomeness to see.
Yep.
But that can change so quickly. Again,
real quick. Yeah.
Grind upwards to, for an example, when ProveX came out, PulseChain was like 4 zeros and a 3. Well, that's currently like 5x away from here. On our grind back up there, a 5x, the morale of PulseChain will change drastically. There's going to be plenty of green candles. morale would change. People are going to be up X, especially the people who DCA'd the bottoms, and products like pTGC UFO will be probably hitting some super high levels. Where maybe the rest of crypto, like on ETH, maybe these guys are only up 2x, 3x. You know, we're like doubling their gains. Like, we're going to look like a really awesome place to be. But we're only at 4 zeros and a 3. You know, we still have more X's, even the sacrifice price. We still have more X's to all-time high. And if people are looking it up during those times, if I had to guess, they're way more likely to take action. And where they're taking action at is still very, very cheap.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I've said before about marketing, and this plays into the devices that are being shipped out and such. It's like a boxing match. You got to punch people multiple times before they finally go down. So those mailers are oftentimes going to be just the first jab. And then they'll see PulseChain somewhere else, and that'll be the second jab. And then they'll see them enough times, and they'll finally be like, oh yeah, PulseChain. Yeah, I've seen something about this. And then they finally look into it enough to take action on it, and then they're in. Next thing you know, they're in. They got a position.
100%. They have to see it like 5 times for them to take action, unless there's somebody they know in real life pushing them through the door.
Yeah, especially when it's something as volatile and, how do you put it, risky as crypto. Oh, Jan was saying a few minutes ago, he says, would it not be possible to invite RH to show up in this show? It's absolutely possible for us to invite him. We probably will at one point. I don't know that it'll probably land on deaf ears, but we'd love to have Richard Hart. That'd be so fun, man. Imagine Richard showing up into our spaces. Woo! That'd be awesome. That'd be so fun to have a conversation with him. You know what we'd do if he did that? If he showed up in our spaces, we wouldn't even talk about pTGC one bit, unless he led us that direction.
Yeah, I hope that in the next few years he at least starts doing his live streams again. He used to hop into spaces, specifically hex spaces and stuff like that back in the day. Even, I think more importantly, other spaces, like more general crypto spaces. He had a big enough platform to where he could make his arguments and he could have in-depth conversations with these big players in cryptocurrency. And it was a massive onboarding tool for this blockchain that we currently do not have. And I'm hoping that conservation of ammo is strategic and not, and not just giving up and not wanting to do it anymore.
Oh yeah, Richard's not done. He's not done. No way, man. Well, somebody was asking about 10,000x, so we're gonna do a little moon math. I have the what do you call it? The moon math calculator out. And $30 million into pTGC and $8 million into WPLS would 12,000x the price. And then Travis, he wants to know how much would have to go into Pulse and pTGC to do a 100x. So let's do a comparison. So this was $38 million for 12,000x.
So real quick, Banana.
Sure.
The chances of pTGC bringing in more value than PulseChain as an entire blockchain is, in a way, almost impossible. because the value even to come in the PTGC has to go in the PulseChain first.
Right. So I did it backwards. I was just getting the numbers in there.
Okay. Well,
right.
It matters a little bit because
Okay.
you get different types of X's from different tokens. So yeah, let's play with a little bit larger numbers in the PulseChain side.
Okay, I flipped it around and put 8 million into PTGC and 30 million into PLS. And it's 11,000X. Now let's do some smaller ones because we want to get it down to 100X. You want to do kind of about the same ratio?
Yeah, let's stick around that same ratio.
I was thinking like maybe a million. Let's do 500,000 into PTDC, and that would be 4 million into Pulse because that would be the same, about the same ratio. Yeah, I think that's a 200X. Wait a second, 500,000 into PTDC and 4 million into Pulse is 16.7X. That's not enough. We're trying to get it to 100.
I would think we would need, let's do 4 million into PTGC.
Okay.
And let's do 20 million into Pulse.
All right.
20 million is nothing, guys. Richard blatantly talks about how he put $20 million into the chain, I think, like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I know it. That's nothing, man. But we overshot the goal by 1,600X. We were trying to only get to 100X. Dude, do you guys understand where we are in this market cycle? The opportunity staring us in the face. Just slap me silly and call me Willie, man. We're going to be looking back on this in one day, God willing. We're going to be looking back on this and be just like, remember those days? It's going to be crazy, I hope. Wow. Okay, so $24 million into PulseChain gives us a 1,700X. Everybody's here is retired. The whole generation, their whole family is retired for generations from $24 million. Okay, let's get it down to 100X. This could be nothing, man. What do you think? What kind of numbers should we?
Second guess. Do 10 million into PLS, 2 million into PTGC.
Okay, I think that's still going to be too much. We'll see if I'm right. You said 2 million into PT because we're cutting it in half.
Yeah, 2 million into PTGC, 10 million into PLS.
Oh, we're close. We're at 208X. I took it down drastically, actually. So that's 12 million bucks would be a 208X. And the price would be 1.7 cents. That's an interesting price for me. Okay.
Why you?
I'm sure you could take a guess. Life-changing gains, man.
100X is a lot.
It's going to change my life, man. I'm encrypted to change my life, but I am not going to sell my I've got a core bag that I'm just like, I'm going to guard with my life, man. But yeah, I'm going to shave a little off the top, take some profit. Absolutely. A little, like a small percentage. That's the plan. But yeah, a total of 12 million.
Real quick. So what we were talking about is roughly a 200X, right?
Yeah, we're trying to do 100X.
But that experiment that got us to a penny was roughly a 200X.
Yep.
So I think we could, some of those X's are from PTGC, so it's not even like 200X to liquidity. But I'd say we could probably get 100 to liquidity with that 200x. So 100x to our liquidity that we have today, that'd be $200 million of liquidity. So, you know, just for fun, you don't give us any numbers, but like, isn't it nice to know, like, when you do plan on shaving something off the top, there's a lot of liquidity for this system to where your little shaving off top or whatever probably doesn't affect the chart as much as a lot of people might think.
There you go.
There is so much liquidity.
Yeah. What do you think our liquidity would be at that point? Because we could do another experience and another experiment and see what our volume would be.
Well, it'd be around, I think it'd be around 200 million.
Okay. Okay. So 200 million, is that 100x in liquidity?
Yeah.
Whoa. I know that is the number that I put into the liquidity impact calculator. I always go for 100x. So let's do it. I haven't been in this calculator for over a week, but 100x in impact on liquidity would, on a median week, send pTGC to about $23 million in volume. So then what you do, guys, is you take that volume, 23 million in volume, over to the rewards calculator. And let's say you had,
what is that, volume a day or is that volume a week?
That's per day. I mean, per week. Yep. That's weekly volume. Right. So you actually, yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to divide that by 7. Divided by 7. That's let's call it $3.3 million per day. So we go to the rewards calculator. Let's say you have a dolphin position.
Hey, real quick, Banana, before we move on, because I think this is really interesting. So our average volume right now for the last 30 days is $34,000, right? And
okay,
you just 100x our liquidity.
Yeah.
And then look at this. Now we're saying, well, what did we say for volume? 3.4 million. Well, that's, if you divide that by 100, that's 34,000. And
that's cool.
We talk about how that stuff rises evenly with the increase of liquidity. It's like adding up almost exact. So it is fair to say that as our liquidity grows, our volume has shown signs, and now we have actual real data because Shaka tracks all this.
Yep.
That our volume actually grows ultimately, like almost perfectly evenly, with no guarantees. Things can dry up or whatever, but all the data we're gathering is like spot on.
Yeah. And just so you know, guys, I mean, you can watch the video on my channel about the liquidity impact calculator, and I scroll down and I show the viewers where that estimate of volume comes from, and it comes from historical data. You can see it for yourself right now at ptgc-ufo.com. Click on that liquidity impact, scroll down, you can see everything's right there. This is just math, what we're doing here. So let's do that dolphin position. You ready to do that dolphin position?
Yeah. Okay. Going. Sorry.
Okay. That's all right. Those are good points. So you're going to hold it. Let's assume this person is staked it also. 1 dolphin position, not 2, just 1. 29 million tokens. Daily volume, what was it? 3.3 million. Got to take a 0 off. There's our $3.3 million daily. And what we're going to do is we're going to see what his reward would be. And that's how much is that bag? That's right now that is how much is a dolphin bag right now? About $3,000. It's a little less than $3,000. $3,000 bag at this volume daily would be $8. $8. And then we'll take that times 365 times 365. $2,920. So if liquidity 100x's and we have $3.3 million in volume daily on a staked dolphin bag that's worth $3,000 right now, would earn in 1 year $2,920. Dolphin bag paid for.
So this is one thing
You're muffled.
So what I typed in on one of the calculators I have on the site I worked on, the $3.5 million a day in volume, what does that equal yearly for the DAO and also for the auto buy and burn and then the auto LP ad?
Yes.
So if we got the system to that level, the DAO alone would be generating $25 million a year. So we could have $25 million ultimately to do buy and burns, LP ads, reward onboarders, etc. And then like automatic buy and burns, we'd have $6 million a year just to do buy and burns automatically from code. That doesn't even include UFO. And then we'd have $6 million of auto LP ads with PLS as well. So like you were bringing up earlier, that flywheel thing, if we start going up, like the numbers of buy and burns and LP ads and DAO revenue is going to equal some large dollar amounts. And I think those large dollar amounts will really start to get the attention of a lot of people in cryptocurrency, because I just don't think stuff like that can be overlooked. And then 100x, it's not or 200x, it's not impossible, as we just saw. It took very little amount of value in the PulseChain as a whole.
Just a few $million, man. 5, 10, 20 million bucks. There's people that have that in multiple bank accounts sitting there doing nothing. And they're about to discover the world's highest appreciating asset here at some point soon.
In the sacrifice phase of PulseChain, there was that amount of money flowing into the sacrifice on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yep. It doesn't take much at this point in time. Does anybody have any comments about what we just talked about, or anything else you want us to run through another scenario?
I got a comment, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm in Australia. Thanks for doing this space at this time, because it's pretty hard to make them. Been trying to get on for a while.
Oh, so, good.
It's a couple of things. First of all, I would like to remind everyone that we've double bottomed on pTGC on the monthly. So a double bottom indicator is a pretty strong indicator for showing that there's a reversal going to happen. I don't like to chart too much with newer projects, but man, this is just such a setup. Just to remind everybody, when you double bottom, and I've been in pTG since the start, and just looking at my setups, I think that we're primed right now. As soon as liquidity flows back into the market, which it's starting to. Bitcoin hit 80K yesterday. Oof. So get ready. I just wanted to ask, I had a question for Zan, just about the Amplifier tokens, just around Burn and Liquid and 808. I just wanted to check, like, I know you guys don't talk about them and you don't advise to invest into them, but I just wanted to check the purpose of those as the system grows as well, because I mean it's pretty cool with the arbitrage system. I just wouldn't mind if you could talk into those a little bit.
Yeah. So the idea behind them from the start was to just give arbitrage bots more legs to tap into, and then those legs, we airdropped them to pretty much a lot of the stakers of pTGC, I think 2+ years ago now. And the idea was, we're going to give this value to free through our community. Really, it's there for the arbitrage bots to take action on. And as they take action on it, it's going to increase the value of pTGC because every single one kind of had something in it that sucked pTGC into it. If you look at them now, like there's still tons of pTGC like into them. And then if arbitrage bots interact with them, it sucks more into it. Like their liquidity pairs or some of them burn pTGC, etc.
The liquidity on that pair alone is $226,000 with a market cap of 161. Look, I'm not saying people should invest into it. I'm just fascinated by how this flywheel and just there's so many elements to this ecosystem that is just so incredible how it's been set up. I don't think people really understand on an arbitrage level, on multiple factors, right? Like you say, it's sucked in and then.
Yeah, cool. And they've been extremely quiet as far as arbitrage goes for a while now, just because there's just not a lot of movement on chain. But those are like the liquidities that are there, and they'll continue to just do what they'll do forever. Like they're there for the arbitrage bots, and they will continue to suck pTGC value into them, etc. And that was kind of the point of them. They didn't, on more of a level that I looked at them at, is they didn't hit the arbitrage as much as I would have liked, especially after like the auto router got put into effect on PulseChain. Like when pTGC came out, the auto router wasn't a thing. So there was a lot more of that arbitrage opportunity because no one had auto router. So everyone would just go all into one pair, and then arbitrage bots had to do the rest. And they were getting a lot more action during that time period. And same with pTGC and UFO, both were getting a lot more volume from the fact that there was no auto router on chain. When the auto router got introduced, it did sadly pull a little bit from the volume of pTGC and UFO, which is fine. Like it was something that had to happen, and it definitely slowed those down, and they're already a little bit slow already because they weren't really meant for user interaction. But yeah, they're still doing their thing. They're there forever. It's kind of the same idea as pTGC, and pTGC is just a lot bigger of a vision and has a community inside of it, and also has the ability to pivot and just everything that pTGC is. It's the idea of like you can never stop this. Like as long as PulseChain exists, even with the community drying up, like you could truly never turn pTGC off at the size it's gotten to. And that's what's
mechanical
about it.
It's mechanical, right?
Yeah. Yeah, every feature in it pretty much fires off on its own. And then the one feature that does have a human interaction side of it, the DAO, but anyone can interact with the DAO as long as they're in the top 100. So, technically it can never go away. And I don't think it will ever go away as long as PulseChain exists. And that's what I think is so unique about it, is it's 100% decentralized. Code is renounced. Everyone gets trustless APY based on their share of the token, which is a huge discussion. Obviously, right now with the Clarity Act is yield for just holding, where you don't have to put your capital at risk into certain things, which they denied that with stable coins. But pTGC, you can get that in an appreciating asset. And it can never be turned, like it literally could never be turned off.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. For any Australians listening, and so you guys know, they're basically trying to reform tax so that you basically lose 50% of your holdings. If you sell, $1 million worth of crypto, you lose half, so you keep 500,000. So I think that's also another thing with pTGC. There's the rewards mechanism, so you don't even have to sell, right? If you want to just take the income, you can do that. So it just
Yep.
gets better and better in my view, you know, in whatever tax
so
jurisdiction you're in.
I would assume you'd have to pay on what you're taking. But
what you're taking, and then you could actually, use income from rewards, which is one, you know, methodology.
Well, that's the whole idea, right? It's like if we can truly get pTGC to a point to where it's so decentralized, but also sustainable and secure. Like if we're hitting all those boxes and the system starts kind of doing what Bitcoin does, it's just like it just every 4 years or whatever starts making all-time high, and you don't have to cash out your entire bag to go into some other store of value because you think it's more secure. If pTGC can actually evolve into being the best store of value, you actually never need to cash it out.
I think people would be very wise to buy, not financial advice, but if you understand opportunity of early Ethereum, early Bitcoin. I've been around Bitcoin since it was $1 in 2011. I think for me, pTGC personally is the only asset I've ever seen since Bitcoin and Ethereum that you do not sell. You hold onto it. And the fact that it has a mechanism that pays you more blows my mind.
And in a supply that's always less, right? That's the key thing.
Correct.
It's not only paying you more, but it's paying you more in a supply that's always less.
Well, and the deflationary mechanics, which is something that, again, we haven't even touched on that it's becoming, it can't be stopped, becomes more scarce over time. Incredible. I have to take my hat off to you, sir, because I also know that personally a guy that founded Dogecoin is an Australian, and he left his product, you know, and this is the thing people don't understand with Richard Hart, you know, even if Richard Hart bailed, he's created an immutable chain it's awesome. And the fact that pTGC is built upon that gives it so much value. I mean, sure, PulseX is a great deflationary token. I love it, but I'm never leaving PulseChain due to just pTGC alone, you know, because of what's been set up. It's unbelievable what people do not understand what they have in this project. I'm telling you. I mean, you guys know it, I hope. That's why you built it, right? I hope everyone else gets it.
Yeah, you know, and I think you bring up a good point, like where PulseChain has gotten to, and like this double bottom situation, like this 25 mil market cap level, this 25 market mil, this price in general would not exist if PulseChain didn't go down 95% from sacrifice price. When we hit the 400 million market cap level, PulseChain was the exact same price as when pTGC launched. We didn't get 1x from PulseChain. It was the same price we launched at, and we got all the way to a 400 mil market cap within like a couple of years. It's currently down quite a bit. It's down 95%, but 90% of that 95% is from PulseChain itself. So opportunity is there. Like if you believe in math, if you believe in PulseChain, even a slight amount, there's a huge opportunity because of PulseChain to get a decent size of pTGC that ultimately would never even be achievable for an average person if PulseChain never came down this much. And
I mean, I've already experienced it. I've experienced the gains from pTGC. I got in early, not at the very start, but I watched it, and the chain didn't even technically move that much. So I hear you. You know, we've hit a floor at PulseChain. Sure, it could dip a little bit more, but you don't really want to take the risk because when it runs, the difference between a 10x and a 100x, you know, if you just wait and then it moves, you've lost many, many x's. But look, not financial advice because that's not what we do. But I think the opportunity is pretty. And just one more thing, I don't want to take up too much time, but just so people know, I think the other question mark is around Richard Hart. But I was actually introduced to Hex by a school friend, and this is back to the marketing. Like a guy from school was posting Hex, and I just ignored it. And that's the great thing about these spaces. If you keep educating people and putting it in front, because back in early Hex days, they didn't have these. It was just such a niche thing, you know. So you know, I didn't get into Hex day one, but I know people that did, and I'm telling you, Richard Hart was in Telegram. He's not a scammer, guys. He is for the people, and he would write personally to people I know, just helping them out with security teams. He'd be, doing meetups when he could. The guy is not a scammer, and I know personally people that did very well out of X. Yes, it's dropped completely, but it's just crypto, guys. Prices drop, but then they go up exponentially higher than you'd ever imagine. So I think that's a big question mark for people around Richard Hart. But
I think that's a lot of people right now. Like even some of the strongest believers are starting to have that question mark because they feel very beat up. But I think that's a great reminder. Like, guys, the market's been tough. Crypto is super volatile, and it's even more volatile than most of us even imagined. But like you said, he's not a scam. He doesn't need the scam anyway.
Why would you spend $30 million with Elon Musk's law firm in New York? Why would you hire them and fight that hard, and just destroy the SEC and just let your chain die? Like, I think he's just intentionally just stirring the pot. He's getting rid of it. He's washing out the weekends. He said it multiple times. I always look at streams, and he just can't stand people that don't understand the game. He's in 2013. You can see him at Bitcoin conferences in the background having meetings with a suit and tie. The guy has been in the game for a long time. He is for the people. So, anyways. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hearing me out, and thanks for answering the question.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you again.
Oh, I'm in Australia. Trust me, I tune in. I just can't do it live. So.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear from you.
You too. Thanks for building such an amazing project.
Yeah, it's now just code on the blockchain. We're all just community members. You got any questions or comments on YouTube, Banana?
No, just people enjoyed the last couple minutes with G Dizzle. Yeah, G Dizzle, thanks for jumping up and chatting. That was good, man.
Anytime, guys. I'm here to stay. I ain't selling. I got into pTGC, but I got into another project, which I won't name, but that project went to nothing. So I just took a little. I heard pTGC was good code. I think you just got to. I'm just so thankful to have done this is the thing. I just deep dive. That's all I do. I just talk to people that are smarter than me. And
there you go.
I mean, not to. I don't know how to say this, but I mean, I'm at a business networking thing tonight, and there's people worth. The last guy that spoke is worth $150 million. There's multiple people around me personally. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go tell them to buy pTGC right away, but these people. There's certain individuals that can. I don't think people understand once people get it and educate in real life and on here that there's some significant people that want to be part of projects like this.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm not saying that I'm going to go and tell this guy worth $100 million. Well, maybe I do, but but there's some serious people around me who've done very well in crypto. Early Ethereum whales that, man, don't you worry, they're finding out. So it takes time, but
yep, it's just a matter of getting pTGC in front of them, or they end up to where that pTGC lands in front of them.
And some a lot want us to kind of pave the path, right? There's a journey to become, that true store value system. And some will start to speculate when it's still a speculative play, but they're looking for it to have that path kind of laid out. And that's kind of where we're at right now. And as it evolves and as it grows, I think that's when those bigger players start to come in. And like you're saying, like there's big players lurking, and it does not take much to get pTGC and PulseChain rocking again. Like just a few $1 million gets this whole thing going again, and there's hundreds of millions of dollars floating all over the place. We just have to keep paving the path, keep doing what we know works, keep leaning on the math. The math does a lot of heavy lifting for us, along with banana. Banana and the math is all we need. But as we keep paving the path, you know, I do agree. Like, these people will start to notice, and they're looking for a product like this. They're looking for a product like this. It answers a lot of the things people want in a place to store value. They want price appreciation. They want built-in APY. They want scarcity. They want burnt liquidity. And as our liquidity grows, and as this blockchain shows to be resilient and have success, I think they're going to be lining up at the door.
Yeah, and it's exactly, and it's just simple diversification tactics. You know, it's you know, as people shouldn't just go all in on crypto, but, you know, just even small exposure for these whales. You know, you know, it could, you know, even small amounts for some of these people can. I shouldn't say too much, but yeah, I know some Ethereum whales personally, and you know, who retired in the Cayman Islands, and, you know, they want to be they don't they want to put their money into the best moving assets, right? Which is not gold, which is not silver anymore. It's DeFi, you know.
Yeah, they should just put a little bit in, you know, 10 or 20 million, just a little. No,
I just hope the prices, man. I just hope these prices hold and keep dipping for a little bit, because it's just keep buying, right? While others are crying, just keep buying. That's my philosophy.
There you go.
Anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, you just confirmed what I've known for a long time, that there's just so much capital floating around this world looking for a home, a good home. And it'll find its way over to PulseChain and pTGC eventually.
Are the boys in the Caymans looking to invest in pTGC?
I can't answer that question honestly, but it's just someone I know that was an early Ethereum miner. I don't even know their net worth, but I know that it's very, very significant. And this person is a very, very, very experienced. Like, I'm talking, governments hire him to. How do I say it? He's just an expert in stable coins and currency of crypto, and was very, very early on. Like, I knew him. He's a family friend of mine, but I've known him for a long time, and he would always be very advanced with he just knows and understands future kind of movements of money and things like that, like what will be valuable. So I can't comment too much on names, anything like that, but all I know is that these people exist, and I think once, you know, it only takes a couple of people to get it and go, hey, check this out.
But this guy's going to invest in pTGC, or he already has.
I honestly don't want to comment on it, because it's he's just one of many people I know that I personally. I mean, there's been people on these spaces before, about 6 months ago, that are around extremely high up people that they're literally putting this in front of. So yeah, to answer your question, 100%, I put this in front of people.
No,
but they're smart. They're not going to tell me they're buying or they're not, because I think they like to keep it private.
They're not going to tell you if they bought or not if you shill them.
Yeah, that's not my style, brother. I just you know, let them know, send them a stream, you know.
That's no good shit.
But I'm just telling you, like, you'd be surprised who's paying attention.
Yeah.
I just don't want to give people false hope and go, oh yeah, there's some guy worth $500 million. Like, just like with Richard Hart, he's not going to tell you his moves, you know.
Well, there isn't. There's not. There's not someone worth $500 million buying pTGC.
Well, they can diversify, and they can put in 0.00.1 here or there, you know. So.
Yeah, they ain't got it. only if they're doing it for price appreciation. They're not doing it for what it's built for, because there's no way they're even going to pay for that position.
I think that some people I know that are very, very early in the crypto into Ethereum at the start, they saw it when no one else saw it, right? And they'll go and study and they'll find, and they like projects that are gonna, you know, I mean, not just for the tech, but I think that we're still so early in these.
Well, the tech's a little bit spent. Like, the price appreciation is the only thing that's going to sell now, because the tech's done filled with fucking, everybody's got like the bags that nobody can touch. Like, I mean, nobody's going to come in and pay $150,000 for somebody else's bag right now. Impossible. Like, nobody's going to come buy B. Ruth's bag for fucking $200,000. Impossible. No way. Not going to happen. They'll only come in here to get price appreciation, because you guys have already fucked up the fucking residual income. Like, there's no way. Everybody can look at what it is. Like, there's no way. Nobody that even buys it gets PLS or whatever other rewards that you give to anybody. Nobody gets that. Like, it's such a drip program, and everybody else is just bag bias and hoping that and people buy like a big bag and hoping a whale comes in and get more PLS to your fucking wallet. Other than that, they're just hoping for price appreciation, because the actual function, the function's done. It's toasted, because you guys got too many holders that fucking evaporate any reward that anybody can get. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they don't. It's that's the whole problem.
Are you saying that real quick, just so I understand?
I said this was going to happen 2 years ago, and it's finally here. It's finally here.
Well, can I ask if I'm understanding you correctly? Are you saying that because there's big players that are holding large supplies, they're getting a lot of the APY? Is that?
Well,
which isn't in PLS. It's in PTGC.
It's the only way. It's the only way that the system works. Like, are you telling me that everybody gets equal amount of APY?
Yep.
Well, everyone gets an equal amount based on their supply that they own. So if they own more, they get more.
That's what I'm saying. So go and open up the fucking holder list, and then you'll find out that, like, B-Roos has got 4 of the top 10 wallets, and then whoever all the rest of you guys that own the rest of them, like, you're sucking out all of the reward from anybody that thinks they're going to get a reward. And because people get dripped like fucking like 10, 20,000 PLS a month, big fucking deal. You guys are getting, like, if there's high volume from all these other degens that think they want to get in price appreciation, you guys are sucking out all
You're
that.
very, very misinformed.
No, I know exactly how it's working, bro.
Well, that is how it works. You know, the people who own larger amounts of the supply are going to get more APY because they're holding up the price. By them holding up the price, it creates an environment that we can actually move on to the next level and make.
That's why nobody's going to buy this. That's why nobody's going to buy it, though. This is why most tax tokens go to nothing, because it's a
this beyond transaction token is not the same, because we don't actually even need users to buy this token. If users buy Pulse, they're going to force the price up of pTGC. If users buy PulseX, they're going to force up the price of pTGC. If users buy most, PDI, it doesn't matter what. If users buy ETH, they're going to push up the price of pTGC. If users buy pretty much anything on this blockchain, they're going to push up the price of pTGC. And that's why users are going to buy pTGC, because they know that they can hold this token, and pretty much anything that's moves up on this entire chain is going to pay them an APY that's justified based on the size bag they have. And if they want a bigger APY, they need to buy more. If they're just here for X's, that's great, because they're going to get in. They get in at a good time. They're going to do X's. They're going to make gains, which is better than most of crypto. 99.9% of crypto is just a scam that's rugging you. So it's a pretty safe place to get gains.
This whole system is gonna die.
Vincent, you hate on anything on PulseChain that has done well, and the things that you shill are trash.
Yeah.
So what would you say about what would you say about that? Have you shilled anything that's done any gains on PulseChain?
Mr. Big Bag's coming up to talk. Mr. Big Bag's gonna come up.
Can you explain one coin that you have shilled that have done good on PulseChain?
How many coins have I shilled on PulseChain?
I see you shilling one that's at like a $25,000 market cap and can't go in.
Which one's that?
This wartime coin that you're trying to shill lately?
It's $250,000 market cap.
Trash. That's trash.
I started shilling it at fucking 70,000.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is you're literally no, just hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. Hear me out for a second.
What's the market cap of pTGC right now? Let me look.
25 mil.
Right. $25 million. So if I want to get a 1.5x, a 1.5x, it's got to go to $40 million.
Which is okay. So let me teach you crypto. Let me teach you crypto. You are literally crying. Listen to yourself.
No crime.
Hold on. I'm gonna give you some facts.
It's dying.
Allow me to give you a fact.
You know it. And
let me give you a fact.
Vincent, wait.
You're trying to fucking.
You've been doing most of the talking, and I'm just trying to give you a fact.
Wait your turn, Vincent.
The total market cap of all crypto is a $2.74 trillion market cap space. You are literally saying a $25 million market cap coin out of 2.74 trillion with a T is a large market cap coin. Your coin that you're shilling because you're like happy that it's a $250,000 market cap is a joke. $25 million market cap to the big boys is a joke also. And that's just a reality, and that's just a fact. Jokes are opportunities because every coin that is in the top 100, with the exception of a few that raise money with let's just say some type of ICO. But when you look at the top 10, Bitcoin was a $25 million market cap coin before. Ethereum started at a $25 million market cap. XRP started about 10 million market cap. BNB about $4 million market cap. Solana was a $4 million market cap. Tron started under a $5 million market cap. Dogecoin under a $1 million market cap. Cardano under a $5 million market cap. And they are now billions of dollars of market cap. So when you say
when I got into Bitcoin, it was $36 million market cap in 2011.
So what I'm trying to say is too many people think that a $25 million, I guarantee you came into crypto past 2021. You did not come into crypto pre-2021. Because everyone that's coming to 2021 or later has this mindset that anything over a $10 million market cap is too high to get into. Which is the worst thing you could possibly do. You know why? Because you've missed out on so many coins in the last 15 years that you would have said, I'm not getting in that coin. It's a $10 million market cap. That is absolutely retarded. So when you say pTGC can't go up because I'm pissed off that if I need a 2x, it has to go to a $75 million market cap. Well, let's see what a $75 million market cap rank coin would be in all of crypto. On page 5, we are at 74. So you have to be ranked in the top 400 to be in a $75 million market cap coin. I can name you coins that you've never heard of that are in that market cap. Have you ever heard of Rig Complex, Dusk Coin, Grey Hut Coin, Threshold Network, Tatcoin, Max Street USD, Mindwave DAO, Puff the Dragon, Movement, Plum, Flow, Tron Bank, Elf, Straits, Zama, Rect, Polymesh, Numeraire, Moodang, Macoin, Swap, Veros, Cupcoin. I guarantee you all those, like probably the last 20 coins I just named, you've never heard of. But you're literally saying the coin that you know about, PTGC, you know more about PTGC than any of those coins. And you're literally saying you can't get to that.
Bro, you got kicked out of Ethereum, bro.
Now here comes the threat.
Bro, you can't even show your face in Ethereum spaces. You can't even show your face in Ethereum spaces. Like, people won't even let you talk.
I'm glad that I just showed your true colors. Just
right?
now.
People won't even let you talk in an Ethereum space. This is what it is.
When's the last time? I don't even go in spaces. PTGC and maybe like the Pulse. Maybe KR space and PTG space are the only ones I go into.
That's a PulseChain space.
Yes.
It's on, man.
Why would I need to go into an Ethereum space? I have no Ethereum coins.
I was there when it happened. I'm friends with the people that ran you out.
Well, what Ethereum space was that? What Ethereum space was that?
I'm friends with the people that ran you out.
Name that
you
space.
You not even talk about Ethereum no more because
name that
they
space.
will fucking wreck you. They will wreck you.
Name that space, or you're just lying out your teeth. Name it. Yeah. You can't name it.
You know,
you're a fudder. You're a fudder. You're fudding me right now. You came in here to fud PTGC. You can't speak facts.
How many Ethereum tokens you talk? You can't talk about them no more.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? How many Ethereum tokens do I have? What are you talking about? Are you drunk?
Yes.
I think Vincent, your point about a tax token dying is
stop talking on purpose. I muted him just because.
I was about to say.
This is the way it works. Like, you get muted in a space where like people are gonna get called out. It's all good.
Because I asked you what space that I got kicked out of that was Ethereum, and you can't even do that.
Oh, really? Really?
Name it.
Get a hold of Rodney.
What?
Yeah, get a hold of Rodney.
Rodney, what are you talking about? You sound retarded right now, dude.
What? No.
Name the space that you were in that I got kicked out of.
You act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know.
Name the space of Ethereum that I got kicked out of.
Do you know who Rodney is?
Rodney who? What's the last name? What is
Rodney who? Right. You're right. It's because those spaces, you don't belong no more, bro.
What space are you talking about? You have yet to give me the facts. Remember you said you speak facts? All Ethereum space. Okay, dude.
It's the same thing. The same thing. You're trying to milk PulseChain for the same thing. Look, this is why you're going to be non-existent eventually. Because you're doing the same thing with PTGC. Like this.
Okay, Vincent. Okay, Vincent.
Okay, sorry, Vincent. I muted Vincent again just because, Vincent, I don't think you fully understand like what myself and Banana and even G Dizzle were trying to do with this space. This isn't a token that is a weak token that's 50 mil market cap to 250 market cap that just disappears and rugs forever. Like, the goal with PTGC is to become like a top cryptocurrency in the whole entire world.
Well,
so like,
can't become a top cryptocurrency. It's a tax.
Why can't we?
Because I think the tax token.
He's going with the tax token argument.
The tax token is the reason that I will not sell. The tax token is the reason that I will not sell, brother, because it's perpetually adding to liquidity, my friend. You can only take profits. You can only take profits with a large liquidity pool, my friend. You want rugs. You want a rug. Understand that a tax token that takes that money and puts it into a liquidity pool is probably the most bullish reason why I ain't selling, brother.
Well, Vincent, you're
bro. All you gotta go do is look at the top holders, and then everybody else don't. This is why I don't want to touch it.
Are you in PulseChain? Are you in PulseChain?
Get the fuck out of here, asshole. You know
Do
that.
you, do you hold PulseChain?
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
It's a simple
You
question.
have to
Yes or no?
keep
Do you
the
hold
language
PulseChain?
down, brother.
You know what?
Keep the language down.
You have bought tens of thousands of dollars of tokens that I've launched on PulseChain. So get the fuck out with it.
Are you in PulseChain? Like, do you hold PLS?
No, I'm not in
Let me
PulseChain.
rephrase it. Do you
I'm
hold
not
PLS? You don't hold PLS?
You have bought. I just told you. You personally have bought tens of thousands of dollars of tokens that I've launched on PulseChain. But yes, I'm in PulseChain. Trust me.
Okay, guess what? I've sacrificed way more money than you think.
What does
So
that?
what that has to do is, if you're worried about PTGC and the money I have there, and you think I can do that, you better sell your PulseChain now.
Like I care about.
You should be worried about PulseChain then. You should be worried about PulseChain then. You're worried about me with that.
About your PulseChain bag or
You should be, because I'm in your coin right now. I'm in PulseChain.
You are a wannabe athlete that is a broken piece of shit.
Here we go again.
Like you have the only way you've made money in your life. You have only made money in your life by fucking people over. I make money by selling actual things that me and my people build with our.
Hey, sorry, Vincent. I cannot stand.
Like B-Roos is a nothing. He's a nothing individual. Nothing.
I'm gonna say I can name the top 5 coins that did very big gains on PulseChain, and I believe I was the one that talked to them pre $300,000 market cap on all of them. So
I think
you might not like me, but all the coins that made people a ton of money did pretty damn good through my calls. So I mean, you might hate me, but
I don't like
fact speak, bro. Fact speak.
You're a scammer and a liar is why I don't like you.
Hey, it is what it is.
This guy
I scam a lot of people to the upside, I guess.
This guy is the face of PTGC, and it'll run it in the ground because of this motherfucker.
No, he's not the face of PTGC, brother. No, he's
Far
not.
from the face of PTGC.
Wrong. If anybody...
Watch I start shilling his coin, I guarantee you he won't sell.
Everybody that I talk to about PTGC mentions is this dumb fuck.
No, if I start shilling the coin that you're mentioning right now, I don't think you would care. I think you would love it, actually.
Bro,
is that what you want?
You are nothing. You are nothing.
Would you like me to buy your coin? I bet you like it.
I don't have a coin.
Your wartime coin. When you want me to buy wartime and start shilling it?
That's not my coin.
Would you like me to buy it right now and start shilling it full time?
Yeah, listen. You don't understand. I don't care if you buy it or not. You know why? Because I'm going to buy it. You think that you got real money? You do not have shit. You got imaginary money that you stole from everybody. I got real money that I make every day. I sell homes for a living. You
I wouldn't want to buy one of his homes.
Vincent, I'm sorry, man. I do a lot to run really clean and professional spaces, and to be honest, I just don't have time for you to come up here and just...
Bro, you got to be able to have time for criticism. You got to have time.
Nah, man. I got kids in the background, man. I got my kids. I don't want to hear language. I don't want to hear...
Exactly.
I don't even care. Look, B-Roots, man, I respect you, but, bro, I was in the...
What language did I offend your kids with? Like, and if
brother, dropping F-bombs and calling
if your kids are listening, then if your kids are listening to you while you're on crypto, then get a fucking life.
Zen, can we mute him permanently?
This is a guy that works for a living.
I am working for a living. I have it on while I'm working. I've been working. I run my own businesses. I have my kids at home, brother. I have this going. I'm telling you, man. Let's be respectful.
Zen, can we mute him permanently?
Yeah, I would say kick him out.
Just because I'm down to pretty much over 20 minutes because we usually only do these Monday ones for an hour and a half. And I just kind of wanted to finish it saying, like, me and Banana both work really hard to keep these professional and educational. People are more than welcome to have their opinions. And I try to hear them out for short amounts of time. And I always want to give my opinion off of what their opinions are, but to just come up here and be so negative to something I've spent the last 5 years of my life working on. Banana spent a good 2 years of his life working on building for this community. And we do have the true goal of making this a revolution, a token that is so needed in this space. And yes, there is a fee involved, and that might detour some people like Vincent. But for some people, they see the value in 100% of that revenue. That's not just from the user, but also from the market, going back to everything that matters.
There's
And
absolutely no
doesn't
benefit
need it.
for the community. There's no benefit for the community at all. None. Zero.
That's
I don't even know
false.
how you came back up,
Zero.
but
What are you doing for the community besides taking their tax money?
All right. He needs to go.
I think the best thing to do for someone like him is actually not even to kick him off. Have him explain, just like how I tried to get him to explain through facts. So you got to do it through facts. You know, the points that he's making. For example, how did I get kicked out of Ethereum Spaces calls? And he knows he couldn't do that. He started name calling, name dropping. So when people come up like that and say tax token, tax this, have them try to explain what they think is happening. And if they can't explain what's happening, what that does is it actually makes them look bad to the crowd. And then once you explain what actually is happening, it just completely defaults to a W under our part. But, you know, he's doing the typical tax token thing, which pTGC, believe it or not, has already rebundled that argument years ago.
The issue I have with Vincent is he's here. He's not here to learn. He's here to talk bad about pTGC, period. And we're not going to convince him otherwise. So he needs to be muted permanently or removed from the spaces, because I've had it with the language. I've had it with the attitude as well.
Some people, man, are just they're just not serious people, guys. You got to understand that. Some people don't deserve platforms.
yeah, sadly how the space is set up is it just anyone that we're following it invites up. So I'm trying to.
Oh, I
mean,
see.
At the end of the
I
day,
see.
we're at the bare bones when it comes to PulseChain. So at the end of the day, you're either in or you're out. Once pTGC resets, it's just going to shut all those people out. Point blank. Yeah, 25 million market cap. How many times have we heard, do you think the market cap's going to go back to this, go back to this, go back to that? And I even said on a live stream today, and I said, I've heard so many people ask me that question. Now we're back there. I bet you those same exact people aren't buying. But there's not many coins on PulseChain that did a 2.5x from its low. Even though it's a tax token and it takes people's money, it did the most gains from the low in the last 3 or 4 months in the whole chain. So, I mean, you're either in or out.
I mean, you know that pTGC, it's living rent free in people's minds, man, and they don't like it.
No.
But that's okay.
But he said the exact thing, he said the exact thing why people will not get in. And that's the moral of the story. And it's not just PulseChain, it's all of crypto. If I get in at a $25 million market cap, for me to get a 2.5x, it has to go to $70 million market cap. That's ridiculous. End quote. That was his quote.
That's such a stupid, retarded argument in crypto.
You will never make it in crypto. You will never retire in crypto. You will never be financially free in crypto with that mindset. Every single person that sold SHIB, at a $50 million market cap and they missed an additional 1,000x from those gains are basically hating life right now because it's a coulda, shoulda. Same thing with Pepe. Same thing with Bonk. Same thing with name anything, Tron, BNB. Even I freaking hate myself sometimes for selling BNB in 2016, 17. Like it's a smooth 1,500x from there from when I sold BNB. How many people sold Ethereum at $5 and missed out on 1,000x from that?
But think about it though, man. That kind of a rhetoric, it reduces crypto down to meme coins that if you're not in at 100,000 market cap to 5 million market cap, you can't make money in crypto. And it reduces crypto to not a real investment. It reduces it to just 100% gambling. There's nothing that's going to be real. There's nothing that's going to actually turn into something. And that's without even taking into consideration years of real information and data and actual investment information that's behind this thing. You can't reduce all of crypto to if you're not in at 100 market cap, you can't make money. That's just retarded. We're only like 15 years into a brand new category of investment.
Well, here's the thing. Ask yourself in the real stock market. Real stock market, what is considered a micro cap? So when you really think about it and you ask that simple question, and these are going to be facts. What market cap in the New York Stock Exchange is considered a small market cap? I know the number. I just want to be 100% sure. I believe it's $5 billion market cap, to be honest with you.
5 billion?
Oh.
Small cap.
Okay.
Small cap.
A big market cap is considered 10 billion and greater, up to 200 billion. A mid cap is 2 billion to 10 billion. A small cap is 250 million to 2 billion. A micro cap is 50 million to 250 million.
Not even.
So amongst the New York Stock Exchange, pTGC is not even a micro cap.
10x.
Dude, it's not even a nano cap. It actually has a nano cap under the small cap.
So imagine someone saying, I want to invest all my money in the New York Stock Exchange amongst this $50 million market. Majority of those stocks, people are like, yeah, I'm good. So when you have something like this where you can get into, let's just say a mid cap, not even a large cap, like a mid cap, small, let's say small cap. Like that's a $2 billion market cap pTGC, and you're considered a small cap in the stock exchange. Most people won't even mess with a $2 billion market cap. So when you say you will not get any more gains, for some of these big boys, they won't even mess with you until you start getting into the 200s, 300s, billions of dollars of market cap. How do you think SHIB and all these other coins and Caspa, all those other coins got to 5, 10, 20, $50 billion market cap? It's because somebody has to buy it from 1 billion to 50 billion. Who do you think are those people buying those coins to do that? So you're, in my opinion, you're not smart. You're not giving facts. You're not giving data. You're not giving alpha when you say 25 is just too small. Makes no sense.
I've talked to Vincent once before, and it was probably 2 years ago. On one of these spaces, he came
I remember that, Zen.
Yeah, he came in and said 1 million market cap was too high, and he makes money just fine getting 50K market cap tokens. But the interesting thing is we went from when 1 million was too high, he gave the exact same spiel. We went from 1 million market cap to 400 million market cap. So I personally don't understand that argument. And I look at it right here. We're at a 25 million market cap. Why can we not get this protocol to a 4 billion market cap? There's no reason why not. Everything's getting better. LP's getting better. PulseChain's 10x lower. Distribution's taking place. Protocol's primed to generate more revenue than ever in this next move. We were able to go from a market cap that, in quotes, was too high, the 1 million market cap, all the way up to 400 million market cap. And it doesn't matter necessarily what some people think. People can not like beyond transaction tokens. You do not need to buy pTGC, but it will live rent-free and live on this chain forever with or without you. And any token that gets bought that pTGC is connected to, PulseChain, PulseX, Hex, PDI, Most, Ethereum now. We now have $115,000 with Ethereum. If anyone buys any of these tokens, they are buying pTGC now. So we don't actually need these people to buy pTGC. If they buy ETH on chain, they're forcing the price up of pTGC, or at least generating us revenue. So I think that's just a good point to bring up, is there's a lot of people out there that might think a 1 mil market cap's high or a 25 mil market cap's high. But truthfully, like, none of them are high. Like, where this could potentially go with pTGC's code, with a successful Ethereum, with a successful PulseChain, like, we can hit numbers that are absolutely insane. And he doesn't have to be in.
Yep.
You know, there's the community that we've built without people that are negative has been very, very strong. And his opinion.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny? If a coin, and this happened multiple times in my career with crypto, but if a coin goes to a $50 billion market cap from a $25 billion market cap, you know all you need is $500 to be a millionaire.
And that's what people don't realize. They don't realize that they can become, that's right, Roots, that people can become a big player when it's down here, because that guy, man, Vincent, God bless him, but he has no understanding that the whales, that the Ethereum whales, these guys aren't going to touch this project until it reaches its previous all-time high, when it has 10 times the liquidity at $4 million and then 100x. That's when the players come in, man. That's when the players come in. And people do not have patience. They have no understanding how it works. Man, yeah, you guys handled that well.
But one of the biggest issues, though, too, is that people that say a lot of things, they're not paying attention to the things that are the most important parts of the system, because they don't pay attention. And the thing is a massive revenue generator, and the distribution is massively thinning out to the point to where there's just not enough bag holders left that can really do much. As we progress, we're going to run out of people that have enough bags to do anything to the protocol, or have anybody that even wants to sell anything in the protocol. And at that point, you have a system that's generating millions of dollars of revenue. The large majority of holders can do nothing to the chart, and you're left with a bunch of diamond hands. And what happens then? And you want to talk about, oh, I can't do that. Everything is at all-time lows. Now you're bringing legacy into the liquidity web, which is what bigger investors want to see. And it's generating millions of dollars of revenue with zero overhead.
100%. And that's the thing. Like I'm some people I know that are Ethereum whales, that the other. I can put pTGC in front of people, but the thing is that unless it has that liquidity that they can buy into, they're confident, you know. So when we're hitting all-time highs, that's when people are going to be flying in. That's the thing, and that's the opportunity right now when crypto's asleep, when people don't understand. I mean, like a good friend of mine, personal friends with the Doge founder, And he bailed from Doge. He started it. It was a Litecoin fork, blah, blah, blah. But then, man, Elon Musk took it up. I mean, people don't understand. Like, man, when the market returns, this is the best project in crypto. And I will be singing it from the rooftops. But the issue I have is that people aren't listening, right? Just like my school friend that introduced me to Hex. I did not listen. I was regretting that decision, you know.
I remember early on, brother, and you make a good point. I remember pretty much, I'd say a year in, and I was having a very in-depth conversation with him. And he just stopped and he said, Mando, it just comes to a point where the system is going to go with him or without him.
Correct.
The system is literally designed to mine the last pTGC token.
Yeah.
It's what it's doing. Every day it's getting these tokens out of here, and miners are going offline and the APY is going to the remaining miners. So when this next turnaround happens, we're not starting at a 50,000, 100,000 market cap. We're starting at a 25 million market cap at all-time lows. The LPs are at all-time lows. What the hell do you think happens on just a 5-10x of the LPs? If 5-10x is the value of the LPs overnight and the revenue generated overnight, how could people be so stupid after 3 years of having the ability to watch this machine? We're literally buying $50,000 pops of Ethereum at the bottom right now.
Yeah, and that's right. And if you actually look at, I try to put this on my timeline, but if you look at TVL, you look at things like Cardano and these other chains, they actually, I mean, Solana, the TVL went up and it completely died. After the first run, it died for months. It didn't go anywhere. It wasn't even trying to come back up. But the thing is, in PulseChain, if you look at the TVL, it's man, it nearly hit $1 billion. It's come right down, yes, but man, you look at that chart, it's trying to bounce back up. We're double bottoming on pTGC. Like, if you look at the indicators on this chain, I don't like to do too much charts, but man, like, I'm telling you, like, people have no idea what's coming when liquidity returns to this market. When, man, like, it's just...
Yeah, pTGC fluctuates like 5-8 million in market cap, like it's nothing, just up and down, up and down. I want you to think about that. You talk about coins on PulseChain trying to even get to $1 million market cap. pTGC's over here fluctuating $5-8 million market caps, like it's nothing.
Yeah, you're talking about $250,000 market cap. Like, we went up and down 250,000 market cap today.
I know.
What are we talking about here?
I don't know, B. It's something you can't make. You cannot make blind people. It's just that simple. They got bias.
It ain't even bad bias. It's just stupidity. Because, like I said, he just thinks that the market cap's too high. Like, it's not. Like I said, it's post. You know, and I'm sorry if you guys fit this number, but you hear me say it on live stream all the time. It's the class of 2021 mentality. It's the Solana Jeep mentality. This is too high of a market cap for me to get gains. That's what most of these people have been saying lately. And when a lot of people say the same thing, that is why they will never get gains in crypto. They have to 10x and then 10x again and then 10x again and then 10x again to make that crazy amount of money. But there's so much risk finding, even if you did 10x 2 times, let's say you take $1,000, you 10x it 2 times. You got $100,000. You can't even put that into your little $250,000 market cap coin. So now you're stuck figuring out what to do with $100,000. Guess what you're going to do with it? You're probably going to put it up into like a $25 million market cap coin to hopefully get that 10x to get to a $250 million market cap coin. You know why? Because you don't have the liquidity to do it in a lower market cap, lower coin. So there's no way for those type of people to even like really smash it what those type of people are just looking to do is make a couple, like he said, I'm just a regular guy. I have a regular job, blah, blah, blah. He's looking for something to pay for rent for the month. And that's okay. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't come into to a higher market cap coin saying it won't go up. It clearly does that.
You know, the other thing too is, you know, it goes back to when we were doing the very beginning shows of the Shill Tank, and Zen came on, and he gave his story, and he said, you know, I went out there in the marketplace, and I was looking for something to invest in with my money, and I couldn't find anything worth a shit. An actual real investment, not a pump and dump meme coin, which we can make a ton of money on, but something different, something legitimate, right? And that's what pTGC is. And it doesn't matter that there's a fee to take a position and enter it into your portfolio. You got to pay a fee for fucking every damn thing in life. Who gives a shit about the fee? And the fee 100% is benevolent to the investors. So it's a moot point. But then, you know, sometimes we forget that you did create this because you wanted a legitimate investment for your friends and for your family and for the people that you love the most. And I think you still believe that this is a unique investment opportunity. That's something that's akin to something we've never seen before. It's not just some stupid meme coin.
Well, to your point, Mando, can I just tell you guys quickly, do you know what the discussion in early 2020 was around Hex? Do you know what it was? It was Hex has a unique staking model. There's a burning mechanism when the stake ends. And the aim is to reduce the circulating supply and provide high interest rates. That was early. That was
I don't know about the reducing supply. I don't.
Well, sorry. I mean, look, I guess just with the T-share thing, I know that's a point of contention, but I guess what I'm saying is like Crypto Coffee. He was posting articles on it. He was trying to educate people on this opportunity. So I think that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, is pTGC, man, is just an absolute combines, and what you created, Zen, is just people have no idea what's been built here. And I think a lot of people in this space do, but I just can't wait to see where this goes.
100%. I think people just don't. I think it's right. People don't realize. People just don't know. You know, if I can sit down with people that are like financial people, and they actually get it. I remember Trevor brought a real smart guy to the table. He's been in the finance business for like 35 years, like a big finance guy. And I sat down and he didn't know anything about anything. And I sat down and I explained this to him. At the end, he was like, Mando, that was phenomenal, what you just showed me. I get it. I see it. And he was so excited about something like this because he's just never seen anything like it before. You know, a decentralized index that is hyper deflationary and pays trustless APY and is revenue generating and is trustless and can't be changed and it's on a Ethereum fork blockchain. Like, what more does the crypto freaking have to do to be taken seriously in this damn business?
Exactly it.
It's a serious question. Like, B-Roots is not a joker, dude. Like, he will shit on his own bags all day long if something's not legit, you know?
Yeah, I think B-Roots kind of made a good point there. Like, you can play the meme coin game, right? But there's only so much money you can even put in a 50 mil or 100 mil market cap token. If you have any significant amounts of value on chain, the value has to go to something more sustainable that is going to last more than 5 days. right? And I think pTGC offers a great model for that. If you have value on chain and you're looking for it to have solid appreciation, even with being very large, it did more X's than most 100K market cap tokens last cycle anyways. Like I said, Vincent came up and said $1 million's too high for me, but then we went to 400 million. We did a 400x from that point. That's more than most 50K market cap tokens. And then it's got a lot of the features people are looking for as well. And, I think most people are actually looking for this, but resorting to the meme coin gambling. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can make quick money. You can do 2X's in a day, 3X's in a day, stuff like that. But you can't put 50K into that. You can only put $500 into it and turn it into 1,000. And once you make that 1,000, you need to bring the profits to the actual larger, more sustainable products. And I think pTGC and UFO very much hit these categories. And then, he kind of made his own point. He was talking about how he's like, B-Roots has, which I don't know if any of this is true or not. That's beside the point. But he said, hey, B-Roots has gotten into 20 of my products or whatever. It's like, okay, so what you do, Vincent, is just you launch a new meme coin every other week and trick people into getting it, and then you most likely sell and leave and move on to the next. It's like, that's why pTGC exists, because that's not what I believe in. I don't believe in that game personally. I believe in long-term things that are supposed to last forever on chain and go from a 100K market cap token to hopefully a 10 billion market cap token, and start giving these massive players that have taken in VCs and, all these things, and give them a run for their money and be a part of something special and huge, not a project that dies 2 days from now.
Yeah, and the funny thing is pTGC always benefits from those pump and dumps, because half the time, they take the gains and they bring it back to this. A lot of it comes back to this a lot of the time. We see it on the blockchain all the time,
Yeah, I didn't mean like they're a negative thing. It's just like, I think crypto is a big enough space to have different types of products for different features or for different people and different needs. Like, sometimes people do want to play that casino game or the quick gains game, and sometimes people want to make some serious gains, like multi-cycle games. Like, to make a true 1,000x, you do sometimes have to go multi-cycle. You need to take a product all the way up to a $10 billion market cap. But sometimes you just want to do a quick 2x and double your money and bring more value into those big long-term sustainable products. And there's enough room in this space for multiple things. It doesn't have to be, I'm only going to do 50K market cap tokens. And it doesn't need to be like, I'm only going to do 25 mil market cap tokens. Like, just like how some people like to have part of their portfolio in pTGC, and some people like to have part of their portfolio in Ethereum. Ethereum is a whatever billion-dollar market cap token or whatnot, but they want to own both. They want to own something that's more speculative, that can do more X's, like pTGC, that can do 100 to 1,000x in one cycle, but also want something like Ethereum that's connected to legacy, that he knows governments and institutions are going to be buying this next cycle. Cool thing about pTGC now is that we're building this liquidity with Ethereum and Pulse. Is when they're buying Ethereum, when institutions and companies are buying Ethereum, they're now forcing the price up of pTGC. And that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most VCs won't even get in the coin to $100 million market cap anyway. So
exactly.
If you look at Binance won't even really touch them until you hit the 50 to 100 million market cap. That's the low end.
We were literally talking about that earlier. We were talking about how the big players need the smaller players to kind of make the path and show that it's going to last and show that it has the liquidity in the community. They're not going to gamble on it until it gets to those levels.
Yeah.
And it has
exchanges. Exchanges won't even. They're looking for community and volume which volume, there's only like one coin that's really doing it with numbers, is pTGC. I'm not saying exchanges are going to get into pTGC. I'm not necessarily saying that. But what I am saying is it has everything that they look for to get into in order to buy into it. So the reason why they look for volume is because they're looking for trading pressure. So we don't get our volume, obviously, by, necessary trading pressure. It could be through arbitrage and all that stuff. But when those exchanges are looking for the volume, they're looking for volume and community. The reason why they're looking for that is because they make the money off of the volume. Where in reality, pTGC is also making money off of the volume. The only difference is that tax that Vincent hates about, it goes back to the people. So it really is like saying you're Binance and you're just becoming a bigger and bigger Binance every bull market. Because they make the money off the volume, not people.
Yeah, exchanges aren't in the game of making X's. They're in the game of charging you a fee to enter and exit tokens, right? They want you trading them, and then they're going to generate revenue off of it. They're not in the speculative game. pTGC is kind of in both. There's the ability to do X's, and you get your portion of the revenue from traders, or more importantly, arbitrage.
That's why when I hear the term, this doesn't hate anyone that loves PLS, PulseX, or anything like that. But when you say like own the casino, like the true definition of owning a casino is actually pTGC more than PulseX. Just saying.
I don't like to even like say this too loud or really push into it too much, but how AMMs work, like how liquidity structure works, there is really no reason to even hold PulseChain at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There's that chance of that happening is so little just based on how markets work. When Pulse goes up, that means value is flowing onto the blockchain, not off of the blockchain. When value flows onto the blockchain, the value makes its way to tokens on the blockchain. pTGC being one of them, PulseX being one of them, Hex being one of them, Ink being one of them, Most being one of them, PDI being, it doesn't matter which one. We have them all. So the chances when markets move back up of pTGC outperforming PulseChain, and if you look at the history of pTGC, this isn't just like only going off of how LPs work, B2 style AMMs, and how markets work. There's also now 2.5 years of a track record to prove it every single time. There is actually no reason to hold PulseChain on this chain at this point, at this price on PulseChain. When prices go higher and when everything seems more top heavy, usually reflexivity works the same way. PulseChain goes down, money's leaving the market. Usually tokens on the blockchain will go down further. So at that point, it does make sense. They rotate the pulse or whatever. But when you're at the bottom of the blockchain, it's the time to put your value in the plays that you think will be successful on the blockchain. That's what we're looking at right in front of us. And if you, like you said, if you believe in PulseChain, that's kind of the question at hand. Do you believe in PulseChain? If you believe in PulseChain, pTGC is worth considering. You're going to earn APY. You have deflationary, and it's an index of pretty much every single token that matters on the blockchain. Plus Ethereum.
That's the point that I was trying to make to him when I asked him if he owns PLS. Because basically what I was trying to say, which he doesn't even realize, is that number one, like I sacrificed also. So if you're worried about me dumping pTGC or any coin I'm in, you might as well dump your PulseChain, because I'm going to make way more PulseChain than you over these next bull markets, and you're going to have to worry about that. So the reason why is because I'm pretty damn sure that pTGC is going to outperform PulseChain from this point on. So if you are into PulseChain and you are not in my pTGC, I am making a bet. I'm putting the money where my mouth is is that PTGC will outperform PulseChain. And if I decide to take profits when we have lots of liquidity and it doesn't affect the price of PTGC into PulseChain, you are going to worry about PulseChain. You should worry because, we're going to outdo in my opinion, we're going to outdo the whole community. So if you're not in PTGC, you better get on board because you got a big wave coming for you. These are facts. This is how it works.
If the community, right, was pretty much the same community, we had this last cycle and we're going at it again. If we do remotely what we did last cycle, anyone in PTGC is multiplying their PLS bag in a way by 10, 20x in value. Like you're 10, 20xing your PLS. Pretty much what I'm getting at is you could literally sell 10% of your PTGC bag and cash out as much PLS as you had previously and still have 90% of your bag. Obviously, there's no guarantees of us doing that exact same thing, but we've done it twice now. So I feel pretty confident in the code and the community to do what they've done in the past. No financial advice, no guarantees of anything. But think about that. 10x your PLS, just to even get what you had previously, you would only need to sell 10% of your PTGC bag. You could still have 90% of it left. And going back to what you're saying, V-Roots, is I wouldn't worry about PTGC at that point. I would be worried about PulseChain at that point. Because if you're winning hard in PTGC, you're going to be getting tons of PulseChain.
So what those people fear is too many people winning. So what happens is it gets on a me versus you type that marketing where it's like they start calling names, they start fudding, they start doing this. Yeah, so they don't want you to win because they're not winning and they fear that you're winning so hard and they're not winning. So their only way to win is by fudding you or the individual or trying to scare you out of your bag. When in reality, they can't even come with facts on why they should actually be winning and not you. And that's why it's just a simple question. Like you hit them with facts, you ask them the questions. Sometimes you just let them speak, and they speak themselves into stupidity, little by little. And then when he's like, "Oh yeah, I got PulseChain, of course," it was like, "Yeah, bro, you're gonna get wrecked because you're gonna see all these people. It's not even just PulseChain people." It could be Hex. If Hex goes up against PulseChain, you need to be worried about your PulseChain as those Hex people sell their Hex into PulseChain. Then you're going to have to worry, are they going to hold PulseChain or are they going to dump the PulseChain? What are they going to do? Like you're just sitting there picking on me saying, you worry about me, bro. You got freaking Hex whales that's got billions of fucking Hex. You might want to worry about them because if Hex goes up against PulseChain, you're probably about them too. So it's not one of those things, in my opinion, even something to worry about. But that's what they do. They put that fear in your mind. It's like you need to catch up because at the end of the day, this game is a competition of which coin is going to outdo the other. And in my opinion, on this chain, it's PTGC. So
well, his main point, Bruce, like you say, you let people talk. He said a tax token is going to go to nothing. Well, does people actually understand that a tax token creates a rising price floor? Liquidity pool is constantly growing, right? That's a good thing. You have volatility smoothing, you have basically discouraging day traders and paper hands because they don't want to wear the 5%. Like you've got these mechanics with a tax token that actually make it reduce sell pressure. So, man, I just think people don't know what they're talking about.
Here's another funny thing that he stated, which these are facts. I'm just going to state the facts. He'll say, oh, well, B-Roo's got 4 of the top 10 wallets, blah, 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 blah. A lot of those top 10 wallets haven't sold a damn token.
Yep, exactly.
So for a whole bull market, for a coin that will go from $100,000 market cap all the way to a $380 million market cap and not sell a single token, you missed out on gains by telling people and yourself that those tokens were going to sell on you, and you did not get in because of that thought process. Was that the right thought process, or the wrong thought process? If you ask me, I would say that's the wrong thought process because you missed out on thousands of X's because you thought those top wallets were going to dump on you. Well, you were wrong. So now you're literally saying the exact same thing in bull market number 2, and there's a good chance you're going to be wrong again.
I ain't sold, man. I ain't sold. I got in early. I'm not selling.
So your question is, when will they sell? Well, what if they never do sell? Imagine someone saying that in Bitcoin at a $50 million market cap and it's sitting at $2 trillion market cap. Like it was a $2 trillion. And imagine that 50 million are going, I'm not selling that number one wallet, man. It's holding 1 million Bitcoin, man. It's just going to sell on me. Sheesh.
I had haters in the room when Bitcoin was $37 million market cap. I remember it well. It was 2011. People were laughing. I'm not telling you I bought it then, but
that number one wallet is holding 1 million Bitcoin. It can dump on the whole thing and you can just lose all your money. No. Crazy.
It was literally the freaking chance of a freaking life.
Crazy, bro. I was just sitting there just like, what are people talking about, dude? Like, he's 4 of the top 10 wallets. But those wallets didn't sell, so therefore I'm fucked. Excuse my language, sorry. I didn't mean that. It's just... I'm not saying every coin goes up and just goes into multi-billions of dollars of market cap, but you got to make an educated guess on which ones will, or you're never going to make it in crypto.
Well, the thing, man, is the fee in this system is less than slippage on most of the damn tokens these people buy.
He can't even buy his coin. He can't buy $500.
And then when they get gains in the damn
slippage.
they smash the token
Matter of fact,
with 5,000.
let me look at that up.
Yeah.
Let me get
You want to talk about the fees? Bro, you're low liquidity, no liquidity coin. I put in $1,000 and I eat 29% slippage, bro.
There's no way he bought the coin that he bought, where he said he bought at a $70,000 market cap. If it was anything real money, like even $200 of a $70,000 market cap coin with not that much liquidity in it is going to put it up more than 5% slippage. So it's just a lot of these people's talking points are invalid. But what they're doing is they are correct. If it's like a meme coin or just a regular coin, taxes and nothing else, and so it's just a reflection coin, it's not going to last long term. But that's not what PulseChain. That's not what pTGC is.
No, pTGC, dude, is a freaking beast on a blockchain before anybody recognizes it. And it's a lot of it has to do with Richard Hart and just PulseChain and how the wind blew for us this cycle, which was trash.
Dude, his coin is not even the top 100 coins on freaking PulseChain. It's ranked. No, okay, I found it. It's ranked 89 on PulseChain. Literally, it's ranked 89 with $3,000 of 24-hour volume. So let's just take that in the PulseX. This is going to be kind of funny. And I take USDC, and if I put in $500, it will give me 5.55% price impact. So you're going to pay basically a 6% slippage to get into that coin.
Might as well buy pTGC.
There you go. You're paying taxes. You don't even know it.
An idiot.
You actually pay more taxes to put $500 in that than you pay in pTGC.
Well, yeah, and
There's your argument.
pay more.
There's the end of your argument right there.
People start actually selling the coin, and every time they sell it,
Oh, yeah.
a fourth of the LP is gone. Like, oh, okay, I guess only 2 people can exit now. Like, it's
I didn't go. I didn't even go on that. The LP is $17,000 of liquidity, so it's backed by $8,500 of PulseChain. But I hope it does it, man, because you got to start somewhere. So I wish them the best. You got to start somewhere. So
nah, I hope that shit flops and gets wonderful.
I was trying to be positive for the man.
Hell no.
With that said, there's a nice magnet at 122,000 bits if you're listening. It's coming back down. Oh, I guess Rackham's coin's not done yet. I see that thing kind of made a little comeback, huh? I didn't know he was still around. What was that?
Call it a night, guys.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
That was fun.
Thanks for coming in, Bando. Thanks for coming in, D-Dizzle. I apologize for the cussing and arguing there.
Don't apologize, brother. Their kids are asleep. But thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right. See ya.
See you, Zan. See you, everybody.
Later.
Guys.
All right, guys. Drama. My policy when idiots like that, come in and just want to, like, they're not teachable, right? So they got to go. They want to teach me their thing, and when I want to talk, they just want to talk over. When I want to talk, they want to talk over me. Like, no, you got to go. If you can't behave and play well, if we can't have a conversation like a gentleman and articulate and use clean language, you can go do that somewhere else. Our spaces are kind of famous for being run very professionally. And that's Hayden, that's Zen, and that's teamwork, man. So we'll try to keep that. That was an exception. Have a good night, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Hang on to your butts. Gonna get exciting. See you, Paul.